We're going to close up our performance this evening by having Juliana back. She'd been noticing, as I'm sure you do from time to time, that growing up begins to change our expectations about what it means to be cool. I mean, first, what are all the rules that guide us toward being cool? And do we really have to hold on to those rules quite so long? Please welcome back Juliana with Canter On.
My first love was Terry Richardson, the boy from 2 doors down who was in my same grade at school. I'd sort of had other loves before, but the crushes you get in elementary school don't count. At 11, I was old enough to know what was going on with my feelings, and I knew that I was in love with Terry. Terry was perfect. He was a boy who would talk to me. You can't ask for more than that. But somehow he was more. He was my knight in shining armor on the school bus, where one time he rescued me from a couple of bullies. They'd set off a stink bomb and my window wouldn't open. So Terry let me stick my head out his window to escape the smelly smoke together. I loved Terry from the summer before 6th grade all the way to my sophomore year of high school. I'd fill pages of my diary with his name. I'd fantasize and plan all the dates we could go on, and our wedding, and our house, and our children. Obviously, I couldn't tell him how I felt. That is the most important rule. You never tell someone you like them. It makes you look like an idiot. But I'd try to help things along by seeming cool and desirable whenever Terry was around. This was difficult because I wasn't very clear on what made someone cool. I mean, there are the obvious things like wearing the right clothes, which I didn't really have, or going places without your parents, which I couldn't really do very often. But a lot of coolness seemed to be in not doing things. It's not cool to hang out with younger kids, like my little sister Megan. It's not cool to play make-believe. It's not cool to be overly enthusiastic about anything, or at least not where anyone from school can see you. It was definitely not cool when I was walking past Terry's house one day, and he was standing in the yard looking all perfect, and I tried for a casual, nonchalant sort of wave, like it didn't really matter to me if he was there or if he acknowledged me. But my little sister chose that moment to come running up behind me and start poking me with a stick, chanting, "Bouncy butt, bouncy butt, bouncy butt." Megan, what are you doing? You do not humiliate me in front of the cute boy. It was definitely not cool to trot around pretending to be a horse. But it was still really fun. So as long as no one from school could catch me, it was one of my favorite things to do with my other horse-obsessed friends. So there was one day when I was having a marvelous time being a horse, cantering along in a wide circle at the end of a lunge line, leading with my left leg, while my little friend Emily was the trainer, encouraging me along with the lunge whip. And all of a sudden, Terry came around the corner. Oh no. He is not supposed to think of me as a silly little girl playing horsey. He is supposed to think I'm all grown up and like sophisticated and cool. I was breaking so many coolness rules. I was playing make-believe with a younger kid. And worst of all, I was doing it enthusiastically. Okay, don't panic. Maybe he won't notice what I was doing. The evidence was pretty damning. I had a lunge line clipped to my belt and polo wraps wrapped around my legs. But if I could be the epitome of coolness from the waist up and stop right now, maybe he wouldn't realize. It might have worked if only Emily had got with the program. She was a couple years younger and didn't yet understand the importance of looking cool for cute boys. As far as she was concerned, we were still playing. She was still the trainer, and I was now an uncooperative horse. She cracked that whip and started to get after me. "Come on, get going? Yeah. There was no saving the situation after that. All I could do was whinny and canter on and hope to someday outrun my shame. Finally, when I was 14, we had a date. Well, sort of a date. I thought of it as a date. We went to the movies together. I mean, we didn't go together. We each went separately with our families and didn't know the other was going to be there. But we saw the same movie at the same time. James Bond, The World Is Not Enough. And I got to sit next to him. And he offered me some of his M&Ms. I was at the movies sharing a bag of M&Ms with Terry Richardson. Dreams do come true. I really, really thought that after this very nearly almost date, things would start to happen between us. But they never did. Eventually, towards the end of 10th grade, I gave up. I'd been pining after someone who didn't like me back for almost 5 years. And at 15, I was wise enough to know when it was time to move on. Sometimes there's just no saving a situation. Sometimes there's only one thing you can do. Whinny and canter on.